Autism. Always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. A briefing on a possible causes, characteristics, and learning of individuals with autism. Autism spectrum. Autism is a developmental disability that often impairs an individual in areas such as social, language, and sensory development. They vary in severity according to an autistic spectrum. A disorder that is considered to be on the severe end of the autistic spectrum is called classic autism. Some disorders that fall on the least severe end are Asperger's syndrome, or sometimes called high-functioning autism, PDD-NOS, or pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, or atypical autism. Possible causes and current research. The National Institute of Health Autism Coordinating Committee supports 11 centers of autism excellence, all conducting research on genetics, gene abnormalities, environmental cause, social interactions, along with brain development in infancy. SEED, or the Study to Explore Early Development, will be studying behavioral physical characteristics, medical history and current conditions, and risk factors such as genetics, developmental history, and pregnancy. Some social emotional characteristics of those on the autistic spectrum. Individuals may have difficulty initiating social interactions or even simple exchanges of conversation with a peer. They may not be able to read social cues or even make eye contact. They may express displeasure in physical contact with others, such as giving a high five or a handshake. Difficulty forming relationships or showing interest in objects that would typically interest an individual. For example, if we were on a walk and we saw a hawk swooping down on a prey, that would obviously gain our attention, whereas an individual with autism may seem unaffected by this event. Screaming, yelling, or physical harm to oneself. This is often a result of difficulty processing sensory information or outside stimulus. Some language or speech characteristics. Repeating of words or phrases, otherwise known as echolalia. They may not speak at all or have a sudden loss of vocabulary or language skills. This usually happens around 24 months. Speaking in a sing-song voice or an unusual pattern. The inability to understand a joke or idiom or even simple questions or statements that are non-complex. Some cognitive problem-solving characteristics. Although usually memory and visual discrimination skills are a strength, autistic people often have difficulty with non-concrete ideas. They appear to be unaware of play around them and do not often engage in games or dramatic play. So you may see a young autistic child unable to pretend to be a fireman or take care of a baby and be a mommy or daddy. Any small changes in schedule can really upset them. Physical or other atypical behaviors, the individual may be clumsy or move in an unusual manner. They may have repetitive physical movements such as spinning or hand flapping. They're often obsessed with water, moving objects, or they may be obsessed with one object in particular or an unusual object, or they may stare at spinning objects. Some sensory characteristics. They're very sensitive to sensory activities. They may not be able to play in sand or finger paint properly. They may be easily overstimulated by these activities and, for example, throw the sand or paint. Loud noises can upset them, or they may, on the opposite end, not notice them at all. An individual with autism may make loud noises themselves when an outside stimulus becomes too much for them. Some learning and adaptations. As we said before, an individual may be obsessed with one item in particular. If that item of interest is a car, you may want to use that as a motivator in your learning. If you're introducing a new math skill, you may want to have a worksheet pertaining to cars to introduce that, or an example pertaining to cars. So deep pressure therapy, such as a hug vest or a weighted vest, can help those who have autism calm down. Autism Enabled is a great website that has a wide array of materials to help these individuals. In the same manner that the hug vest or weighted vest can help with calming and attention to task, the rocking seat and sensory seat can also do the same. A sensory brush can be used as a calming method by brushing the skin, whereas the earphones can help drown out some outside stimulus, which can upset autistic individuals. Here are some references that were used in the creation of this PowerPoint. As I stated in the beginning, this just touches the surface of autism and autism spectrum disorders by making you aware of characteristics and current research and some ways to modify teaching. It opens the pathway into uncovering more information in order to benefit and better understand the uniqueness of those on the autistic spectrum. I also can't stress enough the early diagnosis and early intervention and the benefits of this.